Cloud9 that's playing last minute with a substitute. As good as Demon One is, right? Yeah. You just take that completely out of the conversation. Lev should be able to put wins like this on the board when opportunities are offered to them, and yet they got trounced out here. It was Zellsis calling a masterclass on the defense half, though. Now he's got to call some good rounds on the attack side as we head into our pistol, and Lev were good on those.
Viper War to cut up towards B. Makes it awkward as well to try and anchor if you are king. Pops the one way down. Look to hold his ground in a spot and position like this. The rest of Cloud9 are not far behind.
Well, the defensive setup looks good here from Leviat&. They've got Sado on a deep, Spikes on a deep line. Getting info at A. King knows it's coming in this direction.
Lots of players out. Doesn't let loose with the paranoia just yet. He's waiting for more signs of life, I think, with utility.
Yeah, the constant jump peeking there is really good for giving you information and knowing whether or not they're walking out behind that Viper wall. So Zellsis has got to adapt. You're pretty confident at this point that there's going to be a B stack, so you've got to go and spread those defenders out a little bit, which is his current goal. With 45 seconds on the clock, though, there's not a huge amount of time to work with.
No, there isn't. Cloud9 spent most of his time just kind of loitering around the main avenue. Now look to see if they can set their sights clearing a bit towards vents. All the sound cues are going to be heard.
30 seconds left.
Especially up on towards the ropes. PXS now potentially pressured. The ire of Cloud9 starts to go into his direction. Wants to try and remove that boom bomb, but there's a lot of util going to be waiting at his feet. The nade rebounding on top of it. Sado blind. Has to back up and away here, but he's being surrounded swiftly at that. The spike's going to be dropped down out into the open. Will need to be reclaimed here.
10 seconds left.
Defense in order. It has to be a safe plant.
There were 4 players ready to defend, and suddenly it was only Sado.
They're already swarming all the way out anyway. There's a lot of damage done, but not quite there with the kills. Still, as I say that, Cloud9, they leave it all into Vic's hands. Blows low enough, but a 2v1 to play into. Lev in a dominant position here to secure another pistol round win so far of the series, but you've got to convert past that point.
It's a big opener, though. I was worried about the defensive setup, to be honest with you, when Sado got paranoid and then just abandoned on site. Maybe he wasn't on the page. If there was a comm to evacuate and then fast retake in.
Yeah.
Everybody else on Lev understood the assignment and they were straight back in there. Sado's happy about it, though.
Definitely something to note, though, what you were talking about in terms of the defensive setups, because Leviat&, despite only having the 1 sub, they are mixing around 3 roles, right, the positions.
Yeah.
So what they're playing.
Yeah.
Sado, Spike, and Neon eventually. So it does change up a lot in terms of what you've actually drilled with Neon, who's waiting in the sidelines, waiting to play.
Yeah, for example, on this map, usually, Neon would be playing the Yoru, and Sado would be on the waylay.
Yeah.
So things are definitely going to change.
A lot of orb farming going on here. Penny close to an ultimate here, being showered in lead. So that high ground blows, making it hurt, but
they really are giving Cloud9
a lot of space.
Yeah.
Every time, though.
It's like just some divine mandate is being issued for Leviat&, to play as safe as possible and make no mistakes when they're playing against the ecos. So, just spots the hand. That's all he needed, really. We expect a second player. Looks likely, yeah.
Good control from Sato there.
Yeah, very diligent. Demon One, where's he pulled that one from? Guess what? There's more bullets waiting around the corner. Only so much you can do from a spot like that. Vic has been dropped down very, very low, and need a bit of luck himself to really make a go of things here. But that's a damaging eco, isn't it?
Certainly is. They keep a couple of weapons out the end of it, but it's not the greatest thing in the world. There's the guy that's done the damage to them, Demon One. What a story for Demon One as well. I mean, resurgence back here, back with a vengeance, playing against the team that he was most recently with in Tier 1. You couldn't get a more different scenario, right? Because the last time that he was with Lev, they went 1-4.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was coming off the back of that NRG team that flopped previously as well.
King breaking the 4th war, yeah. Finally. Secured a round 2 after winning a pistol.
Demon One gave him a scare as well.
Yeah. Certainly did here. Aggro.
Whoa, double TP's in.
Really aggro stuff. Honestly, there's a lot of damage through the wall and into the judge, who played directly into King's palm.
Those Omen metagames over towards B main. And Zellsis looking to take contact here.
Yeah.
Poison's off.
Orbs up, realizes that he needs to take space on this side of the map if they're going to have any success. And Blows only has a Sheriff, so Zellsis might be good for it here.
But still, dire situation. Cloud9 to be playing into, especially against the Eco.
Yeah, you don't want to be losing a bonus.
No. Though he'll be very happy as well, especially if this outcome goes the way that I think it will. And yep, Spike with a Bucky. Just showcasing really just how busted it really is. I mean, had the ability to go back there, but just chose to play his life into it regardless. And that's cleaned up by Leviat&, acquiring a couple of upgrades in the process. Bonus round conversion, it does bode very well.
It certainly does, and they won the round essentially by going 5v3 up in that clash over towards B main, didn't they? Both Omens going for the TP play, I think. Although Vic might have TP'd back out. Maybe I've misunderstood what was going on there, but either way, plenty of times the defend and the attacking Omen are going to be TPing in B main to try to break crossfires that might be set up. And King there getting a huge reward out the back of it.
Bring them down.
Zellsis in this round, the only player with a stinger, but you've got to imagine Demon One's Headhunter more likely to get things done. But my eyes are on Zellsis, because if he gets one here, it would be his 2,000th kill in Americas.
There you go. Tenured player. Been around the block, Zellsis. See what he can get done here as well from his perspective. There's a lot of shots raining down.
I feel like running and gunning with the stinger would be such an iconic way for Zellsis to get his 2,000.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely
rooting for it. I
yeah.
honestly am. I'm rooting for it.
Let's see if that one happens.
Yeah, especially if there's a bunch of leg shots involved.
Spike. Passive position, he gives a lot of space up to Cloud9 playing this spot. He's got potentially there. Just seen with a shoulder peek, and Spike is position potentially just expected by Cloud9, knowing this one. Zellsis as well, waiting in the wings to really activate and light him. Oh, Demon One stole it!
Stole it!
Still, Showstopper's going to be clearing out the path and making sure that nobody plays into that one. Lev just essentially empty out. Demon One still onto the high ground. Going to be retreating back now with that TP. Rendezvous to safety. Zephyr's then ready to punish. And just like that, doesn't matter about the weaker weaponry.
No.
Cloud9 back in.
It's a nightmare round for Leviat&. It really is.
Give it to Zellsis.
Dead.
Oh, Sato.
Possible.
Hold on. We're all up in heaven right now here. No one playing actually tucked towards the site, and it's planted for, yeah, default. Okay, they do clean it up. There was possibilities for Sato. Wasn't planted for heaven like they were making out to be.
I'm thinking back to what's gone wrong in that round, and it reminds me of quite a lot of the defensive setups as well, over towards, or even the post-plant setups actually, on Pearl. It's too passive in my opinion.
Yeah, it's too passive. I remember calling it out when we were casting Lev last time, when
Yeah.
Spike was on that spot against an Eco.
And I think part of it is because they have PXS in as well, who is naturally like a very safe player, I think, and likes to hold those passive spots. But some of it might be the owner effect as well, where it's about minimizing mistakes. When I was watching Lev in the off-season, they were much more aggressive, much more confident, and I like that version of them. I hope when Neon comes back, we get that, but I'd like to see flashes of it here. And there you go.
That's how it happens!
That's the 2,000th kill. Spikezine jumps in, trying to give Zellsis a kiss, I think.
Shut down, there it is. Confirmation.
That's the 2,000th kill for Zellsis in VCT Americas.
2001, not quite as Penny, just a little bit of sidestepping. King is going to be brought down anyway. Forced to spectate now and help his team with the calls, but Sato's on a bloody island, isn't he? Look at this. Forced to dominate the position over towards B main. He does have a gate crash to get the hell out. He's hoping for just the one, but
they're playing with it. I mean, they know exactly that Sato is going to be on that line, and he's just jiggle peeking, shoulder peeking.
This reads like Cloud9 have done a lot of VOD reviews, I'm not going to lie.
I mean, they're completely
very aware of where Spike's position was, where Sato's going to be playing, where the defensive setups are for Lev. They're very, very aware right now.
I think also you've got to point out that what Spike went for, as much as we were looking at it from Zellsis' POV and, you know, congratulating him on a 2000s kill, that one landed in his lap. You know, the idea for Spike there, you do as a Waylay sometimes want to be putting pressure and trying to punish the Viper that you know is going to be looking for those A-lurks. And so dashing onto their head and going for either a shorty kill or more likely a saturate for your Fade to follow up on. Yeah, that's sensible, but the actual execution of it, not there. And maybe, again, that is because Sato is going to be the Waylay player. So maybe it's just a lack of experience for Spike.
Sure. See that one again? Wow, okay. Call it skill, call it luck. What do you want to say?
Well, my question is, where is the saturate?
Yeah, where's the setup for it as well? I mean, it's...
He's pulling out a rifle at the end there.
It's coming out of nowhere.
It's weird.
Yep.
It's definitely weird.
Cloud9 have been given ins. It was looking poor for a short while, Leviat& converting the bonus and all, but now Cloud9 have just essentially dragged it quite even. They've got business booming essentially as well, with tons of money to work with and play with, the deeper this half goes.
Oh, yeah. If Demon One gets a kill, or even with his death, he'll have the tour de force, but obviously not for this round.
See how this one plays out. Demon One down. Locks it. Okay, Penny's an instant answer back, so it's evened it into a 4v4. And a bit of rapid takeover when it comes to Vent's control. Now towards Heaven. Back out and away again, just making sure to sow a bit of discord into Leviathan's minds.
4v4 with Sato controlling information over towards the B line, but it's really far sat back. Okay, Lev, double up. Blows and Spike, looking for information on this side of the map.
Yeah, just trying to make a play. Zeppa's just chopped them down.
He's untouchable today, Zeppa.
And it's not just that. I mean, Sato had a gate crash to respawn over towards A. It expired directly at that time. Everything has gone wrong for Lev.
And perfectly for Cloud9. I mean, today has just been perfection from C9.
Yeah.
It's mad to say. But Zeppa, how often do you see somebody with an ace and a 1v5 eco clutch in a single map?
Doesn't
almost
really happen
never.
Ever. Yeah.
And then he's pulling out stuff like this on map 2 as well. Looking electric. For anyone who might be new to VCT Americas this year, the Zeppa line is normally discussed as like being total average across the end of the year. He has his highs, he has his lows for sure, but you could normally rely on him putting up a very solid average performance. And this year he's been way better. Obviously we haven't seen too much of him, and the NRG performance he had didn't necessarily translate into too much, but it has been really strong.
Yeah, today you're getting his best.
Yeah.
Still calming as well in those calmer moments, not letting a single opportunity slip away here. That's nice stuff, yeah, just takes the fight as that smoke blooms. So PXS potentially just also trying to take a similar timing. Just look at the way that went.
I mean, the first bullet is a headshot on both targets.
Yeah.
Because they're peeking it, you know,
Dropped
hand in hand.
immediately, yeah. And
that's not how you want to be taking that fight, though, either.
Just dry.
Yeah,
shoulder to shoulder.
Dry,
no
but also, you know, not going for a jiggle, a jump peek, one short swinging while one wide swings. You know, nothing like that. No util used either. And they'd lost information on that side of the map too.
Yeah, I mean, there's
a lot to work on here for Lev.
There really is. I want to highlight as well what we were kind of discussing at the beginning when we were talking about Lev as a team, because I think they are caught in between right now. They don't want to hard commit in terms of developing their defaults, improving necessarily that part of the game plan, right? The macro in terms of where people play, maybe alternating their setups too much because they got PXS in. It's going to be temporary. They're just counting down the days until January 28th. Which is when they can get Neon in. But as a result of that, it does mean that they kind of have to just get by in Kickoff for now with necessarily, you know, setups that they're not adjusting too much, because...
Yeah, they are still playing the same comps, though. I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But that's more player unfamiliarity with the spots. Like, your actual strategy and how you're playing should be the same. Like, the actual theory that you bring into the game should be the same, but your player's ability to execute it might be worse.
For sure, but what do you do about practice? Are you practicing with PXS or are you practicing with Neon?
Well, that's a great question. I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know either, but I imagine they are being pulled in two different directions.
For sure.
How they want to get wins right now.
For sure. In fact, that'd be something I'd love to know. I don't even know whether we're going to get a chance, actually, though, to talk to them again. Because looking at the moment, like Cloud9 are all over this one. I know the scoreline says it's even, but C9, with the last 3 rounds in a row, have proven to have a great understanding of where Lev are going to be playing around the map. And look at the lines that Lev are on to start this round. They are really deep, very far back positions.
Really passive. I mean, Spike is so far back in A Heaven. They're very worried about that early presence and pressure. They're sending in a bit of that util in the mid-round. Saddle also locking down one of the lines.
You're also not going to want to jiggle peek this for info because you're so worried about Demon One. He's been lightning fast on the reactions today.
Blood Force has pulled out. He's made that one no.
PXS mistimed one of the smokes in the previous round, and that's how he ended up dying.
See him info though. Doesn't have a snakebite to try and slow this one down, so he's very much on his own essentially. Might have some help from his teammates. Cloud9 take it so slowly.
He's given them everything here.
Yeah. Very happy to contact all the way up because they know that the space is being given up on the round. The nade rebounds, dropping down to the floor, and the nade will do it. Post mortem, not quite. Penny's still alive and active into this fight. Sato though feeling that pressure. It's mounting on multiple avenues, and even feeling like he has to use that dimensional drift here. Players have dropped down, and where is the answer? Leviat&aacute running full footsteps, and the guns are well trained. Ready in the end with Penny being dropped down. Ults on ults. To pit drop down. Sato's beamed from the back line. It is good coverage as well. Make sure that pit comes down without a hit. Spike! Double dash over. He's going to, just essentially take the head clean off Demon 1. Zellsis has got it all to do now. In a spot like this, in a 1v2, bring around the Rosies. Looking for these players, the decay damage kicking in, and this pit isn't dropping anytime soon. He spotted it, at least that they are off of it, but it's being covered by PXS, so they know exactly how Zellsis wanted to play it.
Yeah, leaving the pit there the second time forces you to have to re-enter it. Makes it really difficult to win that clutch. A recovery in that round from Leviat&aacute, but really uncomfortable, I would say.
It was, right?
Very uncomfortable.
I said I didn't know whether to disengage or what.
No,
had to use the ult to try and get out, but he didn't know if he wanted to play himself in.
King got jumped on. I think you're really seeing in this game how uncomfortable PXS is in some of these spots that he's been asked to play in. And, credit to him, like, he is having to fill in this situation, but they don't seem to have plans to disrupt Cloud9 around the map at all. It is a little too easy for C9 to take all of this space. And you're asking a lot of players like Spike towards the end, for example, to make a hero play and win you around. Sato's got the operator posted in a different area of the map now, so he's looking to play over towards A ramp. Might require a bit of help from blows with a prowler or two to dodge some of that utility as it goes up and down in his face. The Viper Orb, that is. Yeah, there's the Haunt, which lets him know that nobody's playing aggressively. Does the dog seek out this op?
Or might be the sending one back up onto that line. It's been spammed down. Spotted him. It's not broken in time. There's a bit of spam onto the main angle. Sato is forced backing away. And Demon 1, look at this. Rapid onto the line. King, though, might be in a bit of hurt because, again, he hasn't been watching this one. The timing taken as that smoke is there. He's just trying to cut them all down and swaves. That's that rifle aim. A lot of damage done to Cloud9 here. They find themselves pushed into a bit of a corner.
Really nice tech from King as well. He throws the smoke, and as it drifts down to the floor, he can see all of the feet, realizes there's 3 of them there.
They're not done yet, though. Cloud9 are encroaching upon the territory. King backs himself out in time, though, but Spikes has been left alone to his devices up towards Evan. His snakebite recoils and ricochets back around. It makes it really awkward for King to try and win that fight. Demon 1 trying to slip the net. It is found out by PXS, so 3v3 still. Chances, opportunities, especially with this planned position, and needs to fight tooth and nail to try and get these players out wide and open, but Vic and Zellsis are happy for it. Willing to square up, willing to tackle it head on.
Zellsis has eaten them up in this round. He hasn't taken a point of damage. I mean, maybe he got healed, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure everyone was whiffing on the guy.
Yeah.
He was ducking, bobbing and weaving between the bullets and just ended up in a situation where he could pick off 2 really important kills. The LEV roster is very skilled, but I have to say that without too much evidence on show during rounds like that. They do look out of sorts today.
They do. Individually, we know these players can pop.
Vic?
Well, I don't know.
Not sure.
Just going down the spine, okay. Yeah, Zellsis is just a menace here.
Yeah, and no point of damage taken in both of those duels. Yeah. Plus Sato on a really unusual angle. I mean, Ona looks visibly frustrated. And these are chances that Lev probably cannot afford to give up.
4-4 with Lev getting a pistol and a bonus conversion is just, it's, as much as it is even, Lev have not been winning out here.
No, and when you consider that all they did was win the pistol on Pearl, it is actually fairly similar right now. C9 fully in control, definitely looking like the better team.
It might feel like we're being too harsh for Leviat&aacute, but they had a team that have had most time. You think about Cloud9's situation.
Oh, absolutely.
Very last minute for them, bringing one in, so. We're expecting Leviat& to be the more dominant team in this fight.
Not sure what was spotted there. There might have been a flash of Zellsis.
Toxin screen down.
A lot of space in the process and just walking up. I mean, the silent gameplay that's on order here by Cloud9 is rinsing Leviat&. Taking these raw fights as well as that wall's up, seeing if they can catch the players onto the cross.
I'm worried about the gate crash. Okay, taken. Sato reinforcing the B side of the map, which is necessary. Though King's got a lot of space here, would dominate B main.
It's very aggro positioning from him. Spike might get a chance here soon enough. Silent drop down perhaps? Oh, they don't suspect it.
Spike's completely expected.
I mean, he's expecting there to be noise. This is...
30 seconds left.
There's significant gaps in the default right now for LEV.
Oh yeah,
It's tragic.
It is, yeah.
That's
really rough to watch.
Sato's going to try and equalize. This is desperation if throwing anything at the wall and seeing what sticks. I mean, you got to call it out. LEV have had time here. This isn't just them playing last minute.
No.
They've known what their situation was for a long time now. They've had time to prep for a game like this, but they are looking lost.
And again, the qualifiers to this kind of critique is that the players are on unfamiliar roles. Normally when they play this, it's going to be Spike picking up, I think in this comp, it would be Spike picking up the Viper, and then Sato picks up the Waylay, and Neon picks up the Yoru. So there are 3 complete changes, but at the same time, it's like, it's rough that LEV don't even seem to have a semblance of what their defense side is supposed to look like. There's so many gaps here. It is concerning. You know, you look at this team and how well, dude, they dominated the tournament they played in the offseason.
Right.
It was exciting to watch. A lot of people putting them towards the top in terms of expectations. Once Neon comes in, mind you, but they're also looking, as a LATAM team, to go towards Santiago, an event happening in Chile.
Good job, guys. I'm not angry, okay? Let's go.
That's the leadership I need right there.
Well, I'm glad they're not angry on that side, because I think frustration's building on the defense. But yeah, looking towards Santiago, a potential opportunity. If they could have kept, you know, a couple of chances, stayed in the middle bracket, let's say, with Neon coming back, that's exactly what they're looking for, but they'll have to play a lot better than this.
Fake presence at the B main. The goal is to try and pull util out of Cloud9, but they're just disrespecting it. They're running them down right now. Trailblazer sets it forward. Sato was in a prime position, just can't quite land that second one well. Going down alongside King. That's the B site cracked wide open. Penny with an ult as well to his name. He can afford himself to play a little bit more aggro. Lev on the weak goodbye, so risky business. Double dash in. Penny though got his eyes on it, and he is just feasting right now, absorbing up all the eco kills. PXS, you poor soul.
He's just looking for a lurk player, hoping that somebody like Zellsis or Demon 1 would end up in his lap. But at this point,
it feels sad to watch, I'm not going to lie.
Well, I'll tell you what, you flip it on its head and you look from the perspective of the other team.
Positives?
Yeah, well, C9, everything that we're talking about with LEV, as in it's concerning that even with the switch-ups, they don't seem to have an idea about how their team should be playing, like what the vision is. Plato's ideal form of the Leviathan defense. They don't seem to have that vision. With C9, they do. Like the coach, Imi and Zellsis together have got such a clear vision of how Cloud9 want to play that even with Penny picking up the primary duelist and Demon 1 coming in, their execution of it is still crystal clear.
Yeah.
You can tell exactly what they're going for in all of these rounds, and I think that is mightily impressive and a good sign for them that they've got such a distilled idea of themselves.
Yeah. Core ideology of how they want to play Valorant, it carries forwards even if they have a few changes mixed in, right?
And that's what
that is really
you're hoping
promising
for on the other side, but it's great to see it from Cloud9.
Yeah.
And the integration of Demon 1 and the way that they're so fluid in the comms, as we heard from Ender. Yeah, it's just a great sign.
They're feasting right now. They've got ults to spend here, and King has just been in this position all day long. Not much you can do from a spot like this, though. Gotta respect it. TP back to CT. Just going somewhere though, and it might just find a target. That's a lot of damage. PXS is like, where the hell did that come from? What did I do to you? Full retake though, 5v5, and that was just forcing the issue essentially as a result of that showstopper. Cloud9 are in prime positions as a result of it. The util's going to be sent out anyway. Abounds. See if they can hunt for these kills. Guns are poking out and potentially spoiling the picture of this one, and the trade are actually on top of it. Leviat&, good chance for them. But did he anticipate this? Zellsis from the high ground, and it's a position that is planted for him. Sidestep, dodging it, but he steps back into the seas anyway, and he doesn't have the sounds to work with. Quick tap, just trying to force him off the line. Blows, difficult spot to be placed into, but half-earned anyway. It gives him wing cons, just needs to land a shot. Zellsis!
I think he's got
time! Blows has just about managed it.
God, that's a crazy one.
Oh.
Zellsis did his absolute best in terms of jiggling there, throwing in a couple of shoulder peaks, trying to pull Blows off it. Incredible from Blows that he had the confidence to simply stick half.
Yeah.
Because Zellsis was shooting at him, jiggling him, wall bang spamming him, and yet Blows knew that his only way of winning that was to stick to half. So difficult, honestly, to play to your outs in that kind of situation because everything is screaming, you've got to take the fight.
Yeah. Credit to Lev too. Very difficult to be winning out in a spot like that. 5v5
play, let's play.
Best round we've seen from them yet, I think.
Got to see a bit more of it now. Moving forwards, Vic, this is going to be causing a couple of issues again to these B-side players. They are being squeezed constantly. King again forced to retreat back up towards heaven.
Yeah, just giving up the
Similar
site every
tail,
time.
isn't it? See the dimensional drift. Sato wants to potentially lead the charge forward on a bit of a ping out to where the player positions are, but a pit again complicates things. Double dash into the fight. Forward approach. TP back and away. There's a lot of players in through main. A flash will deny you a lot of that space as well. Perfect placement and playing off the back of it. Cloud9 are just ready to strike when the moments are right. Zephyr, all of them just collecting up the kills across the board. 7-5, Cloud9. They're putting on, dare I say, a masterclass still. Leviat&, they do bring it to 5 rounds, so they bought themselves some breathing room, a bit of buffer there, but it took a lot for them to do it.
The scoreline makes this game look closer than it is, though. C9 have been very much in control. They lost 3 rounds early on in the half, but generally, taking all of this space on site, pit down, easy for them. And the defense side was where Zellsis and Demon One in particular were flourishing on Pearl.
And we got to see that punch back from Leviat&. We got to see them take this advantage all the way to bring us to that map 3. Saying, I mean, it's a close affair here at the half of split 7-5, and Lev have bought themselves enough rounds with the early pistol round win bonus conversion leading into it. A bit of breathing room, but we got to see these improvements continue when we swap the sides around.
And in theory, they have a Wele Euro composition, so they might be able to get into some really good spots.
Yeah.
But they are going to have to go deep and aggressive, I think, to be able to get onto and punish Demon One's chamber. I mean, one of the big differences between the chamber and the Yoru is that the Yoru TP can be miles away, right? They can take contact and they can disappear. You've got no chance of punishing them. You know the chamber has to be somewhat nearby. If you can push them off the original line, there is a chance with a double duelist comp that you can get the punish on them. We've seen that be the way that it played out in Americas in previous years when this was tried by a couple of teams on split.
Let's see it begin. That's 4 sheriffs by Leviat&. By the way, utility optional. We're just going to shoot you.
They were doing a lot of this on pistol rounds before, and their win rate on pistols has been really good. That has not been a problem for them.
Getting similar beginnings, but that is great timing to be taken. Off the back of your own orb going down, 4 players facing you.
That's a nice play. That's one that Zellsis used to like to run on Sentinels last year.
Looking to potentially speed it up in a different direction, but again, because that play was made in mid, Cloud9 are given options in terms of where they can pivot quite quickly, so King calling the cancel. Spike has been played in. He's got a lot of space.
Spike has an insane amount of space, but you know that that's where the stack, generally speaking, is. PXS using all of this space on A to go and break a trademark, but that's not done much.
King. Yeah, he's watching the right angles for that one. When Zellsis goes walkabouts and punished for it. 4v4 now.
Yeah, well, now Cloud9 are lost. They have no idea which part of the map it's going to. It could be either. You just saw King in market, but you also just saw a trip get broken over on the A side. You really don't have a clue.
Pushed and pulled. It's going to be hurt, though, by Demon 1, I believe. Yep, flag going down. Cloud9 starts scurrying back into positions. Could be difficult for them, but they do have a lot of util, Vic. The paranoia needs makes it simple.
Oh.
Okay, blows. Oh, laser.
A danger player down very early on.
Yeah. Has spotted out a couple of these players as well, so that paranoia connects. Spike is under an immense amount of heat now and is being turned up rapidly. Cloud9 running over them. The nade rebounds and it has forced the positioning. Blows. There's only so many angles and positions you can play for. Half onto the defuse. 2 bullets left though. And this is going to be forcing him way out wide when he hears that one. Higher pitch in terms of the tap onto that Spike. Penny activates.
What a retake from Cloud9. Straight back in. Massive player disadvantage too. Shrug it off.
Yeah.
No worries. Whole map control given over. Both of these teams actually so far, giving the attackers tons of space to play with. But they dominated with the ghosts on the way back in. Real clean shots, and Zellsis is amped about the way that they're playing today.
Yeah.
Feels like they got a date with Envy in that middle bracket.
Yeah, there's something a little bit more driving Cloud9 this time around in this specific game.
Cloud9 versus Rossi would be a very fun game.
Oh yeah. So Penny is really being overwhelmed in a spot like that. Still managed to get 2. Difficult spot. Hands over a weapon into the hands of King. Sidestep of the seas. Zellsis still maintaining the ground, and that's a spike drop down in your lap.
B.
King barely any health to work with.
I have the spike.
Difficulties here. Not likely. Zellsis, quick mop up of the round there. 9-5 now being that scoreline. Cloud9, the one win cons that were really going for Leviat&aacute have been stolen away now. We have to see if they can improve the rifle rounds.
I'm interested also, though, to see what kind of variation in defensive setups we get from Cloud9. That was one of the things that was most interesting about Pearl.
They've been hyperactive in terms of the way that they were maneuvering.
I don't think there's as many ways that you can change around. I mean, Demon 1's position is the biggest one that you change around on the defense side.
Well, you can do some cheeky stuff. You can put it into some corners up towards B heaven and play into mid vents, for example.
Yeah, yeah.
There's some unique stuff you can do.
They've already shown us the, you know, drop Viper Orb in mid play, which I think is a nice change up.
It does require a lot of foresight, though, in terms of thinking ahead with your setup, so. Cloud9, I'll just keep it simple. One. Okay, 3 shots, just layering it down on top of them, and Zephyr happy to help out there with Penny going down. It was the bait and switch angle. A-main's going to be cleared up. There's a potential for the punish, but the saturate just misses going wide, and this is really disjointed.
I'm surprised the saturate missed, though. I mean, Zellsis dodged that one, just.
Barely.
Blows is stuck in mid with the spike.
It's really awkward. Especially so, but he's caught them just retreating. Cloud9 pulling back and away.
Yeah, they pulled their attention off mid for just a moment.
King.
And Vic was not there to back anybody up. King's going walkabouts.
Yeah.
He feels like he has to make a play in a 2v3. To be honest, if he just secured this space, I think they'd
30 seconds left.
All rotated around each other.
Cloud9 is so proactive on their defense.
This is crazy decision making. I mean, King is going to put all that space out. He was hoping to find a kill potentially.
Lowe's is planting for Cloud9.
For Cloud9. Not aware of the fact that they've already made the moves around here. Blows. Can't manage it. Had his aim at least onto the angle, but crouched up, Vic just claims the kill anyway, and now it's left into the Palmer King's hands. He's got to do it all from a spot like this, and a 1v3 has to be monstrous, but he's already off to the worst beginnings. Flash, drop down onto the low ground. That potentially might be heard out by them. Cloud9 encroaching now, making sure they've got that pack mentality, taking the fights together, ensuring that they've got that discipline. King's trying to maneuver around, ISOing, fights onto the 1v1, potentially there for it. Demon 1 rapidly out of nowhere. make sure that there's safety in numbers, and Cloud9 secure up that 10th round.
Good trade from D1, but also nice movement from Vic to make sure that he was jiggling, freezing King's position, and then only swinging when Demon 1 was ready to trade. Because Demon 1 was late coming back in through rafters there. Bit of a scrappy situation. Almost allowed something to disappear, but also really unexpected in terms of that double push out through mid. Lev had no idea what was going on. They're always one step ahead, it feels, Cloud9, even in the chaos. They've got the play that's going to win them the round.
Yeah, always making the right decision.
Now, it was 3 rounds on defense, and then an enormous response from C9. That's not where King was aiming to go.
Yeah.
But whatever. Not punished. I just don't see it happening the other way around.
No. For Lev, it's just an uphill climb. Bloody struggle for them. Just wandering into the fights here, but listen, the weaponry is good for it. Zellsis and Demon 1 lock it down. PXS taking the upgrade. He heard the ropes. There was action up towards it. So, okay, that's good. Instinctual stuff from him. And King, he is starting to mop up a couple of these players on the other side of the map here. This is getting awkward now for Cloud9. Especially so with that TP deep into enemy territory. King absorbing up a lot of space, and Zephyr.
I mean, Zephyr might be thinking that it's going over towards B, to be honest with you.
It's miles away.
Well, there was an Omen TP in the middle of all of this, so you are really worrying.
Yeah.
Where on earth have Lev gone? So another weird situation, a little bit like the previous round, where Lev are going to be able to get a plant, but they're getting surrounded on all sides by C9. This time, though, numbers even at 2v2.
That's how King is. Good movement as well. Wayward with it, so King makes it nice and awkward to take that engagement. It's the 1v2 and double face. This is Discipline rearing his head, so Leviat&a actually getting things into order. Feels scrappy at times, but a few more rounds like that, potential is there.
They got a couple of really big picks in the midst of all of that, too. The spam onto Zellsis through in heaven was a big difference maker. That opened up the A site for them, because otherwise, constantly worried about where that Viper would be.
Nice!
Yeah, so they're clawing back in here. One of the other things that we haven't mentioned too much as well is that King is calling in Portuguese. Right. Oh, here we go, big fight.
Yeah, hello, big fight. Yeah, with a showstopper moving forwards. Oh, that's so many bodies! Plenty more as well, waiting around the corner. It's a nade to try and push them back and away. Off for now, Cloud9 looking to put a crunch onto Leviat&.
Demon 1 can stick around in this position because he's got that TP to send him back into B heaven.
Extremely deep with the rendezvous.
Any of these deep market positions are so tough to clear. And you just don't expect the chamber to be there. Yeah. It's a really nice extra layer to that push. Although he is playing it safer than he could do.
Yeah, I think just trying to play a bit of a bait and switch, so Penny is tucked on the corner. He has retreated now. And Penny is still in this forward approach. This is a lone close here moving forwards, but the crosshair placement's good. And luckily, no players active enough to try and trade him out. Otherwise, that would have been the spike drop down for them.
They were worried about the A ramp push. Yeah. Look at the way one is checking his own vent.
Nightfall, though, scatters up. They're trying to obfuscate Fake, potentially. I mean, they got potentially a tag or two. I'm not sure what the call is right now for Lev.
These rounds have been very strange.
Left.
Using util, using ults, but not committing to anything. But you only have 25 seconds left.
Normally, Cloud9 are pretty good about regaining information in areas that they've lost. Well, they've lost the whole of A ramp, A heaven, vents. Demon 1 though
aware.
Finds the pick onto Sado.
Just not aware where these players could be here. I was thinking there still could be a win con here for Lev once they play together, but
planted.
Whistling down these lone players, and it's a plant not for main.
How disciplined can the Lev players be? Playing off each other won them the previous round, but they're very split up currently.
King refreshing these smokes, renewing them now. He has to be the playmaker, the most forward position for his team to do some significant damage. Flash avoided. This player's already dropping down behind though. Zephyr is cleaned up quickly. 2v2. Zellsis and Demon 1 looking to take this one now together, almost hand in hand. Snakebite. It's good, but again, it's not really planned for players in positions like this. Blows forwards there with that horn. Jump down. Clean with the movement, and now no time at all. That circle shrinks on the spike. So there's another one round out here for Lev. Keep it going, one round at a time. No guns intact, but I'm not sure the money situation's looking like. We'll get a glimpse of it soon.
This round, I think Cloud9 really lacked that proactivity that we were talking about being such a strength for them. They went for the early round deep push. But once they'd lost a ramp information, they had no play to actually regain any semblance of control, presence, info in that area of the map. And King is playing this slow, contacty style, a little bit like how Cloud9 were on their attack side, actually, which is really giving them a lot of worry. And we're getting some funky rounds where both teams, to be honest, have lost track of where each other are.
Yeah. I think it's just a direct result of introducing the sub-players, right? Because normally, well-drilled defaults spread out on a defense side, you're not leaving too many gaps, right, in the play. But both teams are opting for this contact play style, which normally the biggest benefit you've got if you're just kind of winging it a little bit with your defense side, you know, defaults, is the util is going to spell it out for you. If the attackers are using util to take space, that signifies where they're going. So you're seeing both teams slow it down on their attack side, trying to be as silent as possible.
Yeah, it's a strange game so far. Very unusual clash between two teams. Neither playing at full strength. And LEV starting to show some glimpses of the team they're hoping to be.
This is doable.
Yeah, it's very possible. Now, this round they're going to be running into a Demon 1 tour de force. Does look like they're trying to take control of B main early.
Another peek in B main, isn't he? Yeah, he is.
King, though, with that teleport over and across, would make it tough for Demon 1 to hold an easy line.
In theory, cuts it up. Penny does have an nade, though, to clear that one out if they hear it. So here we go. Boombot. Tour de force. Broken with the Boombot.
King did TP.
Yeah, he did. So you can see Demon 1 can't really afford to play a more aggro line. A little bit more shallow. And his rendezvous is in a pretty forward spot as well. There's a lot of guesswork on display. Demon 1 could very quickly be overwhelmed in a spot and position like this. The gate crash, misses the shot, team is backing away, but like I said, he's out into the open. There's a bit of flash in his face, and Penny's just trying to bail him out. The jar there with a movement. Spike is just trying to wrangle control of that rifle in his hands. A lot of the dangers are they're navigated as a result of that.
5v3 in Cloud9 with bad weaponry. That is essentially the round, or at least it should be. Sato getting a little bit closer to his dimensional drift as well, just one away. Worth hunting for some of these players if they're just looking to die to Spike, but obviously you don't want to do it too early, give him a phantom, give him a chance back in.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah. It does seem a little early to me, but if he gets it, he gets it.
My ult's ready.
Oh, ticking soon enough. You get the ult and gets back, so
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, got the kill. That's what he was after.
And now they can set up something really simple, really easy for their next round. They've just got so many ults to work with.
Yeah.
The double duelist ult in particular is a fantastic combo. Yoru ult, when the Yoru sees somebody important, you waylay ult them. Yoru then comes out of the ultimate, very easy kill.
Very easy to combo up that Yoru ultimate into many different styles of play that you want, really. But LEV are finding a way back in it, you know, off the back of the ultimates, off the back of this general game plan for them. Not willing to count them out just yet.
C9 have slowed down a little bit, though.
Yeah.
In terms of the players that were absolutely powering them through these rounds, we were looking towards Demon 1 and Zeppa. Demon 1 not quite getting the value he wanted from his ultimate that round, but he buys up the real thing now, op in hand.
Be their nightmare. Here.
And Zeppa's not having the untouchable performance it looked like throughout Pearl in the beginning of Split.
Here.
Here's that ult combo potential.
Here.
Yeah, it's going to be spotting a multitude of players again, so that's a pit drop down, lay it up, bringing them out, and there it is, convergent path. Sato's going to try and jump onto this one, but it's a bit of a retreat into the smoke. He's okay, it's a chance, it's gone wide.
Yeah, I think they've messed that up a little, but they've still got a ton of space, a pit down.
Yeah, still should be good for LEV.
Yeah, it's a massively advantaged spot.
Smokes are being primed now. Trailblazer trying to lead the charge. Sato retreating back to main, just looking to break some of that util.
Seekers could be powerful here as well to try to counter the pit. Seekers, spam.
Yeah, now being used. He's going to be pointing out that position. They pointed that, looking to spam into the relevant corner. Sato, though, still getting active onto this. Zeppa! Zeppa's running a mockery onto the site right now, and he's just potentially found that win con. Forwards and out. Smoke in your face. The King can't really play for much.
Easy got it.
Yeah, he does.
Wow. I was just talking about the fact that some of the super players on C9 had slowed down, and then Zeppa gives you a round like that. I think if you look at that in the replay, the majority of those are just going to be spam kills. I'm not 100%, but into a pit like that, let's have a look.
Following the Seekers.
Well, there's
Potentially
one.
there's one. A bit of spam into the back. This is just, oh, okay.
I mean, the first is a straight-up duel inside the pit.
All
The
right.
other two, pure intuition.
Barely enough time.
What a great
C9.
read of where people were going to be playing inside the pit, though. I mean, some of that is just like raw game sense. It's not just luck.
King TP's forwards. Demon 1 finds himself a pick onto Sato. That's going to remove options here. Present spotted. Vic. Paranoia is going to be pulled out early. So this is feeling almost desperate, really. I mean, Spike is going to be stunted for now. Dropped off, but Zephyr's just found it as a slight angle that wasn't being covered with that kill. He retreats, backs up and away. This is slapdash now from Lev. It's gone wrong early on.
Well, 3v5, now they need a hero play, so it's probably going to get even more slapdash.
Exactly. Chaos is essentially the only way that Lev get back into a round like this.
Blows knows that there's a couple of people looking to take contact here. He's worried about where the next person is. He knows Zellsis is down there on this angle, but who's playing off Zellsis contact? He's very worried about our player stairs.
Toxins going up.
And yeah, Lev have lost information. Sorry, C9 have lost information in the middle of the map at the moment.
Yeah, very passive, right? Pulled back.
There's a flash to go and regain some info in A heaven. They see that it's empty. Does King now call
30
to
seconds
try
left.
to take that space? PXS is going for it.
Looks like the goal might be towards B anyway. PXS looking to see if he can get something going. Smokes are going to be starting to propped up over towards B.
Bring them down.
Not going to know that his players are potentially winning ground now. Vic
so alone with
caught
the
into the
spike.
corner. He is really isolated, isn't he? Out wide is
10
the open. That's a
seconds
spike
left.
drop down. Up towards ramp. There's no time.
Last player standing.
It's the round essentially sealed up. Can't make a play for much now. 12 rounds for Cloud9. Lev, I mean, listen, they put together a couple of rounds, stringing it together on this half, but
Match point.
as we were saying earlier, they didn't buy themselves too much in terms of breathing room, especially when Cloud9 won round 13, round 15.
Yeah, they put themselves in a bit of a rough position.
10 seconds
Strange
left.
peek from Sato as well. I'm still at a bit of a loss watching some of these rounds from Lev.
Just trying to power
Did
through.
you hear that from Zephyr?
What did he say?
He said, how did they get 8 rounds?
Yeah, I
But
mean,
honestly, I understand where he's coming from, because when I'm watching, I think the scoreline is making this game look closer than it actually is. And of course, 3 of them were off the back of pistol and bonus early on, but man, it's been a tough day at the office for Leviat&.
has to be a converted round though for them. Stringing together whatever sort of buy they can get. 3 rifles, Guardian, a Bucky. No real ults to work with. They are one away from a couple of critical ones, crucial ones. Demon 1 posted. That operator. All in his face will make this one awkward. Angles could get crossed up easily enough. Bit of mid being worked as well by Lev. They're sending Fade Util back and forth. Trailblazer now to see if they can paint out a bit of a clearer picture for Cloud9. It is broken. Sato inserted quite deep. Lev potentially calling that they might want to go into the A angle, but no, go back into King. It's difficult.
Shadows traveling.
Not much on display for Cloud9, and
Blinding.
they themselves also looking for a bit of a play forward. Zellsis inserts himself, dominates B main now, and that is suddenly an option taken away. Demon 1's now going to be at the walls, the
30 seconds
bastion.
left.
Line of defense away from this A side, and this is it. This is potentially how it ends. Lev,
One
not
enemy.
with a bang, but with a whimper, trickling down. Players are dropping like flies. One remains. It's all down to blows, but he will fall.
Defenders
13-8
win.
finish. Cloud9 cleaning up. They sweep Lev away.
Coming out here with a substitute last minute. Demon 1 in, dismissing Demon 1's former Tier 1 team, and getting the win on the board for Oxy while he's out.
Yeah.
A tough situation for both of these teams, to be honest with you, but Cloud9 adapting to it far, far better. And Demon 1 there showcasing that he's been wearing the Oxy jersey, repping it underneath what he was wearing, the jacket over the top.
Yeah.
Heart goes out to Oxy as well. He's had, I mean, such a personal tragedy, but the boys are still here and they're winning and waiting for him to return.
Yeah, repping for him. That extra element that the Cloud9 boys were playing for today. Not just a win to, not get sent down into that lower bracket, but doing it for him.
And on the other side of things, what a tough day for Lev. I think the cope is, hopefully, they've only been scrimming with the other version of the roster, and they're ready to go now that they're down in the lower bracket. But Santiago on the horizon, and you have two LATAM teams, Crew versus Lev, in that lower bracket. One guaranteed to be the first eliminated. That is tough stuff.
It's dire stuff overall for the LATAM teams, as we were saying. But for today, it's Cloud9 persevering, taking it one step forwards again as well, showcasing a resounding turnaround, honestly, in terms of short notice with Demon 1 being integrated.
And they did great.
Yeah, they did.
They showed such a clear understanding of how they want to play Valorant.